Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and in today's vlog I am going to be talking about two 2025 new releases that we're going to read together. The first is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This is the third book in the Legendborn cycle. This came out earlier in the spring of 2025. Can't wait to read this. I've heard mixed things, but you never know what I'll think of it. Sometimes I'm contrary. And then the second book we're going to read for this video is The Two Lies of Faven Scythe by Megan E. O'Keefe. This is the newest Megan E. O'Keefe standalone space opera. So I'm really excited to get into that. And it's queer. Love that. And also the Tracy Deonn book is 23 hours on audio. The Megan E. O'Keefe is 9 hours on audio. So I'm debating on which to start first because obviously one is going to take me a lot longer to read than the other. Anyway, we'll see which one I end up picking up first. Maybe I'll go back and forth just to be confusing. But that's the plan for the week. Welcome to the vlog and stay tuned for more. Those tomatoes are almost touching my roof. Looks like I need to give those ones some water. Not too bad this year, I guess. Although these peppers aren't as big as I want them to be. But look at these. These are carrots. They're going bonkers. And then this is what we got. Strawberries and some flowers in here. Peas. Cucumbers. Hello, I got into the official sit-down video position because I never told you what this book is about and I've already finished it. Legendborn is a young adult contemporary fantasy, like urban fantasy series following our main character, Bree Matthews, who is grieving the loss of her mother. She is a PSEO student or a high school student who is enrolled in a university taking college courses for high school and college credit at the same time. And Bree comes to realize that her mother died under kind of mysterious circumstances, and there is a secret society on her campus that may have answers. And so she's like infiltrating the secret society, getting the lowdown on what's going on. This has elements of Arthurian legend woven through it, but this series really deals with grief, loss, family, white supremacy, patriarchy, racism. Like, there's some pretty deep themes explored through this fantasy work that I think Tracy Deonn does an excellent job with. So it's not just the synopsis that I gave, it's a deep exploration of some pretty big themes. As for the third book in the series, I'm going to talk about this kind of generally, to the best of my ability, now that you have the lowdown on what the series is about. The third book, I loved. Don't get me wrong, I read it in a day, like less than 24-hour period. It's like a 650-page book, 25-hour audiobook. I read it in less than 24 hours. So I wanted to say that up front. I gave the book 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is a filler, I don't want to call it a filler book, but it is definitely a middle book in a series where a lot of the plot that happens feels like kind of side questy. We're gathering information. The main cast of characters is separated for a good chunk of the novel. So we're getting multiple plot lines happening at the same time. It feels like a lot of setup for the rest of the series rather than a complete satisfying plot in its own right. Don't get me wrong, again, I had a great time with this and I was really enjoying the plot. We get a bunch of point of view characters that we've never gotten points of view from before to follow those different plot lines with the different character groups. So that was interesting, an interesting way to tell this story. There was one thing I didn't like, and for plot convenience sake, there is an amnesia plot line that happens, and that just felt very convenient to me. Obviously, Bree is still grieving the loss of her mother, and she is dealing with a lot of emotions, and it's kind of preventing her from progressing. That's all I'll say. Progressing and moving on, and so there's an amnesia moment where she could basically power up without dealing with her feelings. So Bree doesn't do a lot of emotional work in this book. There is some, but it's kind of starting from a blank slate to an extent with the amnesia stuff. So I didn't love that. I thought it was a little bit too convenient. I don't like amnesia plotlines in general, so that's a personal preference. But yeah, overall, I thought that the last 2 minutes of this book were fabulous. There's a twist at the end, a cliffhanger at the end. How fucking dare you, Tracy Deonn, for doing this to us, and now we have to wait who knows how long until the next book. So she hooked me for book 4 for sure, but it is a middle book in a series, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just feels a little bit filler-y. Don't get me wrong, again, I still really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. But just keep that in mind if you're into the series. Books 1 and 2 feel like distinct chunks of the story, whereas book 3 feels a little more meandering, a little bit more side questy, a little bit more prep for book 4. All right, folks, jump scare. This is what I look like without my glasses on. But I am in like 7 out of 10 pain right now, so we're gonna really quickly talk about The 2 Lives of Faven Scythe. Transparently, I had to restart this book, so I read like 20% and I was very confused, so I took a break. I tried to read some other things in between, and then I came back and restarted this one and was having a much better time understanding. I think just like getting thrown into this one in particular was just really jarring, and I wasn't paying close enough attention. So just be aware of that. You might need to pay attention to this one, or maybe audio is not the best format for this story, because I'm doing an audiobook, so maybe the physical read is a different experience. This is about, it's following 2 point of views. Faven Scythe, who's the title character, is not a human being. She is a part of a race of people that merged with alien technology, like back in the day. And this like alien hybrid human type people um, can chart pathways in the stars. So it's kind of like a magic system in a way, but only these types of beings can do so. And so they live lives of luxury. They obviously are like the dominant people. They have all the power. Because in space you want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible without expending as many resources, etc., etc. So she is part of this group, and the beginning of the book opens up with Faven's mom. But the caveat, the caveat with this magic system is that the more you use your magic to map the stars and find these pathways amongst in the space, you get slowly taken over by this, it's called Crystech. It's like crystals that kind of form on your body and start to harden everything. And so eventually you like become a statue, essentially, like the more you use this ability. And so Faven's mother has succumbed, has passed away due to this encroachment of the crystal state. And Faven decides to kind of run away and investigate the disappearance of one of her friends. Her friend was sent off somewhere, but she doesn't think she was actually sent there. And she's trying to figure out like where her friend went. So she kind of goes to some thieves and pirates who are, you know, outside of the law to see if she can find information, because obviously her organization, the people that she's a part of, hi baby girl, is not forthcoming about this information. Our other character is Bitter Amandine, who is the captain of this ship, and it's a very special ship, and of course, and these two end up crossing paths, and Amandine is kind of intrigued by Faven and kind of what's going on with her, and they end up kind of going on this like adventure together, sort of. So that's kind of what the book is about. It, like I said, I did have to retry the beginning of this book. It was a little confusing, but I'm enjoying it now. It truly is an action adventure type story, trying to figure out what secrets this group of people is hiding. Where are these navigators, is kind of what they're called. Where are these navigators being sent? Are they being sent? Are they being kidnapped? What's going on? What's going on with Captain Amandine? She's hiding some stuff, that sort of thing. So we've got some elements of like mystery reveals that need to happen, mostly an action adventure story. I'm enjoying it. This is the gayest book by the author that I've read so far, and I'm not mad about it. Faven and Captain Amandine are like flirting a little bit, and they're kind of attracted to each other, but I wouldn't call this a romance by any stretch of the word. I'm over 50% of the way done with it, and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely giving like a 4-star. I'm not as like enamored by the plot. I like the world building, I like the characters, but the plot itself I'm not fully engrossed by. So I'm enjoying it, but it's not like blowing my mind. Megan E. O'Keefe's writing is typically very like, I can't put it down. And this one I'm finding myself like okay putting it down. Not that I think it's boring or anything, I just think it's good, but not living up to my hyped expectations. I'm enjoying it. It's a fun space romp. It is a little violent, I will say. There's a couple scenes where I'm like, ugh. But I don't think it's like gratuitous. It's just like there's people dying here and there. So there's that. But yeah, I'm in pain, so I'm going to lay on this couch and consume some sort of pain reliever at the moment and call it here. Good morning, everyone. I'm working from home today. Cheers to that. And it's finally raining after a massive heat wave and wildfire smoke. So the air quality is much better. The rain is here. The temperature has gotten much cooler. I finally feel like I'm in the mood to read. I want to finish this book. This vlog is kind of dragging on a little bit, so we're gonna try to wrap things up. I'd only have a couple hours left of Faven Scythe, so let's finish my workday, finish this book. Tetra. Yeah, you know your name. You're a good boy, Hiccup. Yes, you are. Lunch break and some very cute begging going on down there. This is my lunch, though. Hello. Last night I was able to finish the book, The 2 Lives of Faven Scythe, and this is a 4-star. This was a really great adventure story. I have a couple of qualms with it, though. Honestly, it was too short. The reveals that were happening were coming a little too quickly for me to like fully grasp what was going on. And I normally don't feel that way about Megan O'Keefe's writing and her plots and how she reveals things. Sorry, plant. So I honestly wish this would have been like another 50, maybe even 100 pages longer, since it is a standalone. To just like flesh some things out a little bit more, to explain things a little bit more. I'm still kind of confused as to how everything panned out, which is a little bit on me, but I think a little bit on this book too. Like it was almost too fast-paced for its own good, for the information reveals to make 100% sense. The whole gimmick of the 2 lies thing, I also didn't think it really worked, because the whole time I was waiting for the lies to come in and for the truth about the lies to happen, and it really just was mentioned once at the beginning and once at the very end of the book. So like the follow-through on that didn't really pan out. I sound like I didn't enjoy this book. I did really enjoy it. Had a good time. It's nice having a space opera adventure in one book. I just had a couple of issues with it, whether it be the pacing or just how things were explained. But overall, this was great. This was sapphic. That was fun. But yeah, 4 stars. We're at the end of the vlog finally. I read 2 new 2025 releases and I enjoyed both of them. I gave Oathbound 4.5 stars and I gave Faven Scythe 4 stars. So we rocked it. We rocked it. Now I'm going to spend the afternoon with my puppies. Here's one. And we're gonna call it a day here. So thank you so much for watching, if you made it to the end of the video, and I will see you in another one of mine really soon. Bye.